Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and welcome to another News Daily video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi news, I'm going to be talking about Conte versus the club, I'm going to be talking about Nathan Ake interest as well, and I'm going to be talking about our pre-season friendly in July. But you guys, if you do like the video, smash that like button, help me get more than 750 likes for today's video, and don't forget to press the bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Lines TV. Anyway, you man, I'm going to get straight into the first story. I'm going to talk about the news I have on Callum Hudson-Odoi. I'm going to warn you right now, there's not a lot of info or context, but I can tell you that this has come from two separate sources that I don't think know each other. So this is really adding to the credibility towards the story, and I feel as if we're going to get more depth and more context about the story in the next few days or weeks, so it's going to be interesting. But from what I'm hearing, the club are confident that Hudson-Odoi is going to stay and not go to Bayern Munich. Now you guys, a lot of times when I hear stuff like this, I don't normally report on it because there's not much info to add. But for this particular story, I feel quite confident from what I'm hearing. I'm hoping that I'm going to get more news and information in the next few days surrounding the story as well. But from everything that's been sent to me yesterday, last night, and early this afternoon, I have to say, I do feel confident in my personal opinion that Hudson-Odoi is going to be staying. As I said, I hope later on I do get some more news to tell you guys. But of course, when I saw this coming from two different sources, I was very happy. It's not the first time something like this has happened, and this is why I'm feeling confident. Earlier today, news was coming out from Bild stating that both Dortmund and Bayern are still interested in signing the player, but when you read the stories, you guys, it makes quite a lot of sense. Bayern made such a big effort to try and sign him this January. Of course, they're not going to just forget about him. And with Dortmund having someone like a Sancho and being another club that have shown a lot of interest in Hudson-Odoi, obviously it makes sense that they're both going to still try and sign the player. Now, when I read the reports, they were suggesting that both Bayern and Dortmund could create a bidding war, which is just common sense, so that's not really news in my personal opinion. But some interesting bits of news obviously came from Matt Law, who is one of the correspondents for the club, and he's one of the most reliable journalists around. And he was saying that in January, we did offer Hudson-Odoi a 70k per week contract, and of course when it comes to the summer, he could potentially be offered an even bigger contract. So obviously, that's good for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, some of the stuff regarding Hudson-Odoi's future and Sarri, well, it's all speculation. There's nothing concrete on that. But I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions very briefly. And I feel as if once it comes out as 100% confirmed news that Hudson-Odoi is going to stay, I feel as if us fans can give ourselves a pat on the back because all the love and support we've shown the player, it's impossible for him not to see it. It's all over social media, fan posts, in the stadium as well. People were singing for him to come on. We're singing his name, even when he's just running up and down to get that warm up, and all the love and support he's getting from his teammates, international teammates, management, etc, etc. When you feel that much love and support, it's hard to just turn that down. But I think the most notable thing now during this international week is what's going to happen once it's over, and the only logical thing now is that Sarri just has to start using him. That's it. There's no excuses now, and I'm hoping that with Sarri having a week off where he can work on things, develop things, hopefully with a bit of pressure off his back during the week, he is going to make that right decision. Now, moving on to the second story for today, that's in regards to Conte versus the club. Now, this story has been something that's been happening behind the scenes for a while now, and us fans really haven't been considering it as much, which obviously makes a lot of sense because there's much bigger concerning issues happening right now. But I do want to tell you guys, of course, remember, I am very objective. Personally, I didn't agree with Conte's philosophy on football, how he sets out his teams, how he gets his teams playing, but that doesn't mean that I hate the guy. I don't know the guy to hate the guy, and I never like to make things too deep. Now, for this whole situation, I do blame the club for what's happening. For those of you that don't know the full story, of course, to make it very brief, it's based on Conte still not receiving his settlement after being sacked. Obviously, Conte wants his money, so it's gone to court. Now, the argument from the club is the fact that Conte forced Costa out, costing us millions and millions. And the other argument is the fact that Conte had a ton of behavioural issues happening behind the scenes, and Chelsea are basically saying that Conte is in breach of his contract, and this is why he's not going to get the full settlement. Now, Conte has taken this whole legal drama to the arbitration step, meaning that this whole case is very private right now, but if a settlement isn't made, if both parties don't agree on any terms, Conte could take this to the High Court, and once that happens, this means that everything becomes public. And I'm just thinking, wow, imagine if this story really develops, it goes to the High Court, it gets public. Imagine all the dirt we're going to be hearing. There's going to be so much light being shed on what's happening behind the scenes, and for me personally, I'd like to understand and know. Sometimes I hear a few things, but it's quite hard to paint a very consistent picture of how everything's being run behind the scenes. But anyway, this is another L for the club. To be honest, all we had to do was just pay the money. It's 9 million. Now, of course, it's still substantial, but it was agreed in his contract already. I mean, you sacked him and he still had another season left, so you have to pay, in my opinion. And please, I hope no one in the comment section writes something like, oh, you know, we can't afford to pay Conte that amount. I mean, of course we can. Have you not seen the players we've been buying over the past few windows? Have you not seen some of the players at the club that are earning high wages? Some of these guys are earning 6 figures every single week, and they're nowhere near the first team. Still, when it comes to Conte, let's not try and paint the guy out to be some saint, because he's far from that. Like, I remember when I was giving my thoughts and opinions on the Conte versus Costa issue, I was basically saying that Conte was in the wrong. During that time, everyone was saying that I was picking sides. Of course, I was going to be biased against Conte, but when I just analyze everything I've been hearing and reading, I don't understand how anyone could think that Conte was in the right. What, because Costa back then decided that he wanted to leave? Bro, who cares? That was back in the day. During April of last year, there was talks of Costa getting a new contract. That's what Costa thought. He wanted to stay and continue at the club. You guys now, I'm sure everyone's changed their tune because we don't have strikers that score us the goals. And of course, because of this really stupid incident, which is all Conte's fault, it forced the club's hands because Costa told them, you know what, I'm not coming back if Conte's still around. So what else can the club do? You have to sell him. And it's not the first time that Conte's just been sly like this. I told you guys the incident surrounding Chalobah, and Conte did the exact same thing. One of the reasons why Emanalo decided he wanted to leave because he was being undermined. He's had a pattern and a history of doing this type of stuff. I mean, did people forget the way in which he left Juventus? I don't get it sometimes, I really don't. And for me, it was always such a massive surprise that the club wanted to sign Conte. But even though these are my opinions on Conte, objectively, he deserves the money. I don't think the club's arguments are very strong in my opinion. I'm sorry. I mean, please, you could have done something at the time to prevent that from happening. And honestly, this whole incident's just getting on my nerves. But again, it's another L for the club and for the boards. Now, to end on the final 2 stories, starting with the third one, gotta talk about the news surrounding Nathan Ake. Now, this report is coming out from Holland from a publication called Telegraph, and they're saying that we're considering paying the buyback clause to sign Nathan Ake for next season, and that's because clubs like Tottenham and Napoli are interested in signing the player. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions straight away. Now, for me, I didn't want Ake to go, especially when we sold him for Rudiger. Now, I'm not saying Rudiger's a bad player. I personally feel when we talk about players, everything's too black and white. You're either really bad or really good. There's no in between. But for me, Rudiger's like a 7 out of 10. I mean, he's good. I don't think I'll consistently get top class performances from him, but he can still improve, and I think that he can still play a big part for a team through the course of a season. But with Nathan Ake, it was kind of weird because it was like, what did Rudiger have that Ake didn't? I mean, Ake can spray a pass. Very good at 50-50 tackles as well. I think better than Rudiger in that aspect. And he's a player where it was like, I mean, we have to pay like 45 million euros to try and sign him back. This is the type of planning over the seasons, you guys. This is the type of stuff that really gets on my nerves, because it's like, if we had that director of football with that vision there, which the boards will never ever agree to because they want to hold all the power, things like this wouldn't be happening. Now, I feel like this could be a very smart acquisition. He understands the club already. He knows a lot of the players, very good friends of Ruben and others behind the scenes and Christensen. I feel like it makes a lot of sense, and it'd be quite interesting to see if this move does happen in the end. But you guys, to end on the final story for today, and this is going to be very brief, but on the 19th of July this year, we're going to be playing the Japanese team Kawasaki Frontale, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm possibly tempted to go to Japan to watch that preseason friendly because I've always wanted to go to Japan. I love the food as well. Obviously, imagine me just, getting some nice fresh sushi in the afternoon, some Japanese beer, some sake, of course. It could be a good motive, it could be a good vibe for this summer. But of course, this friendly is in conjunction with our shirt sponsors, Yokohama, you guys should know that. And honestly, I think that it's going to be a very decent team to watch. I think Japanese football is quite good. I like how they play, and lots of nice first touches and crisp passing. I think there'll be a fun opposition to test ourselves against. And again, I'm just hoping that I can try and go to the game in July. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring it in for today's News Daily video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more videos.